Hello Booktube, this is Dario. Welcome to my channel Motley Reads. Sunday night or Sunday late evening. So I thought I should check in and tell you a little bit about what is going on the bookish side in my life. Let me turn like this. So yeah, it was I was out for a Sunday run, and the weather outside has been terrible. I was running through a lake. It felt for a long period while I was out. It was rather unpleasant and very tiring run, but like all unpleasant things, it feels very good afterwards. So I'm happy I've done it. So just gonna tell you what I've been doing when it comes to reading since we saw each other last time. I was in Switzerland last week, like the two previous weeks as well, working in Zurich, and now I'm home. And this coming week I'll be in Sweden, and the vacation period is starting, so things are slowing down a little bit. So hopefully I'm gonna have some more time for reading during the vacation period. So that's a good thing. What I read during last week is I read this one. This is a book by Borislav Pekić, and the English title of this book is The Apology and the Last Days. I'm gonna have a link down below to this English translation of this book. This is a Swedish translation. It says En livräddares försvarstal, and it's the direct translation is a lifeguard's defense speech. But the original is in Serbian, and the direct translation from Serbian is The Apology in the Last Days. Borislav Pekić is a Serbian writer. This book is written in 1977. Yes, it was 1977. And Pekić is one of the more controversial writers in former Yugoslavia. During the years he's been active. He's been active from late 50s into late 80s. During the last 20 years of his career, those years he spent in exile in London, and up until going into exile, he's been working in Serbia, in Belgrade. He got in trouble pretty early, already directly after World War II, as being one of these progressive students who saw that there might be either political systems that could fit in a democratic society than communism, and of course that was not very well received by the authorities. So they put him in prison, and when he came out from prison, he picked up his writing, and he has always been seen as a controversial writer. But he wasn't prisoned after that, because his writings, they were mildly critical towards regime, however not taking any either nationalistic stand nor seriously challenging the communistic ideology. So he kind of managed to pass through, although he wasn't widely read in Yugoslavia during the communist years. He became much more popular after communism collapsed end of 80s, and he's now one of the cult figures in former Yugoslavia, especially Serbian parts. This book, The Apology in the Last Days, is one of his less known novels, and it is a book about the old Serbian man who in year 1959 finds himself in prison in Munich, in Germany, accused rightfully for killing a German man, his benefactor, and in a prison inspired by Socrates. Final days, he sit down to write his story, his apology, and this is the story about this man, about his life and the events that led to the tragic events that led eventually to his arrest. And it is a story about this about the tragic comical character, more tragical than comical, living in poverty and being disadvantaged in many ways, but through different terms of events, comes into a period of temporary dubious glory that ends tragically at the end. So in a way, he resembles some of the literary characters that way. I was thinking about the character of Trotta in the Radersky March by Joseph Roth as one of in some ways similar characters to this. And this book really gets you to feel sympathy to this guy and get you to question the some norms of the society, and also get you frustrated about the human nature, about the behavior of the herd when they turn against individuals, weak individuals. It is a sad story, and the Pekić is extremely skilled writer. I don't know if this translation is good or bad. It was readable, but I don't know how well it resembles actually the feeling in the original work, and I don't know how it resembles the feeling in the English work neither. But I enjoyed the read, and for those that are interested in Balkan lit, Borislav Pekić is one of the most well-known writers from former Yugoslavia, and it's highly recommended to read his works and also this work. So Apology and The Last Days. So this one I finalized among lots of work related reading, and then I got into two read-alongs that I'm participating in currently. And the first one is a part of the Jane Austen July, a read-along that is hosted by Katie of the BookTube channel Books and Things, and Marissa of Blatantly Bookish. So right now we are reading Emma, and for those of you that are watching my channel, you know the shocking truth about my literary ignorance, that this is the first time I'm reading Jane Austen. Never read anything by her. So Emma is my entry into world of Jane Austen. Many people say that Emma is their least favorite character. Jane Austen herself said it was her favorite. So far, I'm about 1/3 into this book, and I'm really loving the book. Loving the story and loving the character, Emma. It is a very enjoyable reading, and the writing style is really fantastic. I'm from a small town in Bosnia, and I live now in a small town in Sweden as well. But Sweden is a modern country, and Bosnia wasn't really that modern. So small town where I'm coming from. The gossip there and the behavior of people and all the relatives in large families and all that quite much resembles this. I don't know if it's generally human behavior or whatever it is, but I find lots of people, lots of characters here in this, gossipy, narrow-minded environment resembling the people I know, both, friends, neighbors, and relatives of mine from the time I grew up. So we're reading this. It's quite a lot of fun, laughing and also enjoying very, very much the craft. Masterfully executed this novel. And for all of you guys, you most of you have been reading Jane Austen several times. You already know what I'm talking about, but it's very, very great book. I'm really looking forward to read it through, and I'm really looking forward to read other books in the series. And next read along for the second half of this month is Pride and Prejudice. So this one I'm working on right now. And then a second read-along I'm participating in is a read-along that is hosted by Jason of the BookTop channel By This in a Bookland. And it is Foucault's Pendulum by Umberto Eco. Now, Umberto Eco is a writer that I like, respect very much. Name of the Rose is, his most well-known novel. 20 years ago, it was my favorite book. That's when I read it. Fantastic work of fiction. And Foucault's Pendulum is a book, I've heard of. Obviously, like most of the people, also heard it. It's very, very difficult book to read. So because of that reputation of the book, I never really picked it up. It was just, okay, it's very thick volume. I think this, what is this? It's like 650 pages of very dense text, complex concepts, and you really need to fight through. That's what I heard of it. And that's that has kind of put me off. And then I saw this video by Jason where he's talking about this. He several times mentioned in other videos that this is his favorite book. And then he opened up for a read along. And obviously, he's been reading this book many times. He's been reading secondary literature around all the concepts that are covered here and so on. And he seems to be a really great teacher of the things around the Foucault's Pendulum. So I thought, I'm going to grab the opportunity, and if I'm going to read it ever in my life, I'm going to read it now. So I've started reading it, and boy, it's dense. It's tough. It is, you need a lot of Googling to get through it. It is, it's a lot of work. However, it is not unpenetrable. It is penetrable, really. I get the thread, I get the concepts, I get, I can follow through, but it's by no means, this light, enjoyable flow. I'm sorry, it's not. However, Jason says that after some, 80 pages, then the plot picks up and the plot starts and the book starts flowing. And Umberto Eco himself apparently has said that he deliberately made these 50 to 80 pages extremely difficult to get through, and then the story start. So I'm really looking forward for that story to start, because if it's this hard labor through 650 pages, it's going to be really tough. I'm gonna finish it anyway, even if it's tough in 650 pages. But I'm very, very curious what's going on. And this edition here is in Swedish. I'm really happy that I didn't pick it up in English, and that would add another dimension of difficulty. English not being my native language. Swedish is not neither, but Swedish is in many aspects for me a stronger language than Serbo-Croatian. But this one, it would have been tough in English, I think. So. I'm really looking forward for Jason's videos. He will be publishing videos every weekend to talk through different aspects of this book. And now, I think this first 160 or 180 pages are going to be covered in the video next weekend. So these are the things that I'm working on right now. I will be adding some books throughout July, most probably, and I will keep you updated on that. And if if there's anything you would like to discuss or comment, please leave comment down below. And again, as I said, I'm gonna leave a link to this one. So for those of you that are interested, you can check it out. That's it. See you.